Africa is a land of many wonders of the world. The best way to know about these marvels of Africa is by visiting each of its countries to discover for yourself. Polygamy is most often practiced in sub-Saharan Africa, where 11% of the population lives in arrangements that include more than one spouse. Every family has an evolving story, told by most, if not all of its members. This is a very common phenomenon in Africa, because it contains many large and extended families. In the United States, having a spouse-like relationship with more than one person under the same roof was criminalized in the 1880s, and today, people there are rarely prosecuted for living with multiple romantic partners. Most states have laws against getting married while already being married to someone else, but that is not the case for all countries in the world, especially those of Africa. In today's video, we shall be talking about a man in Uganda who allegedly has 12 wives and 102 children. People often say that it takes a village to raise a child, but for his case, he has produced a family large enough to form a village. Who is this man and what is he up to? Musa Hasahiya is a man of many hats, who has drawn the attention of people from different parts of the world with his amazing family story. The 68-year-old farmer, based in the rural district of Bugisa, a cell in Butaleja in eastern Uganda, has been nicknamed the modern King Solomon because he has so many wives and children. Many inhabitants of Butaleja district say Hasahiya faces a lot of challenges, having such a large family, but he has not given up raising his children. Let us find out how Musa Hasahiya came about this and how life has been unfolding in his family. If you are already excited to know more, then hit the like button and subscribe to the new tourist channel to become part of our tourists team. Little is known about Musa Hasahiya's personal background, but a good number of media sources have it that he was born on January 19, 1955 in Uganda. He got his first wife at the age of 17 after quitting school. They officially got married in 1972 at their teen ages. A year later, they got their first child and named her Sandra Nabwire. Hasahiya stressed during several exchanges with media organs that his brother, relatives, and friends advised him to marry more women in order to have many children, so that he can expand their family heritage, and so he did. Today, he has 12 wives, 98 children from an initial 102, and 578 grandchildren, many of which he cannot remember their names. Their ages range from 10 to 50, and his youngest wife is about 35 years old according to AFP. In his younger days, Musa Hasahiya excelled in cattle trading and reportedly prompted fathers to offer their daughters to him for marriage. At times, the girls given to him for marriage were below the age of 18. Polygamy is legal in Uganda, where a man is allowed to marry multiple wives at a time. Hasahiya has just one sibling, his brother, and claims that his family encouraged him to keep their name alive. Amongst his many children, very few of them have attained a certain degree of formal education. One of them is 30-year-old Shaban Magino, a primary school teacher who helps run their family affairs at times. Monthly meetings are usually organized to discuss family affairs and settle disputes that arise amongst the Hasahiyas. The AFP has also reported that many members of this huge setup try to earn money or buy food by doing chores for their neighbors, or spending their time fetching wood and water, and often travel long distances on foot. Butaleja residents are mostly peasants, involved in small-scale cultivation of crops like rice, cassava, coffee, and animal rearing. On a daily basis, while some of Musa Hasahiya's children go looking for money to handle family issues, others remain at home, seated around the courtyard, with their mothers weaving mats or plaiting hair, while the older boys play cards under tree shelters. According to Zabina, Hasahiya's third wife, the children always eat twice or thrice a day, depending on the quantity of food available. She says if she had known Musa had other wives, she would not have accepted to marry him. To her greatest shock, a fourth wife, fifth, and sixth came after her until they reached 12. Each of Hasahiya's wives has a separate kitchen housed under a single roof, which is strategically planned for easy monitoring of their activities. 2 of his wives have already left, and another 3 now live in another town, about 2 kilometers away, not just because of overcrowding at the family house, but also because Hasahiya doesn't have enough means to afford basics like education and clothing for all the children. Whenever Musa Hasahiya is asked why his wives have not abandoned him, he always reiterates that they all love him, and this has often kept many people in doubt. Hasahiya is currently unemployed, but has become someone more of a tourist attraction in his village. In a recent investigation, the modern King Solomon of Africa told media men that his wives now use contraceptives to control birth. Child marriage was only banned in Uganda in 1995, while polygamy is still allowed there, according to certain religious traditions. Hasahiya has held several strategic positions in Bugisa village from the time he was still very vibrant in business till now. He currently acts as head of the Buzaba Subcounty Hunters Association. On Saturday, September 19, 2022, Hasahiya took out time to narrate his life journey to the public. Despite the big struggle, he has added more land to what was allocated to him by his late father, Muhammadi Mudamba. He now has 160 acres of land to boast about. He said he ensures that each of his wives has a hoe to till the soil and provide enough food to support the family. Musa Hasahiya's neighbors say he is blessed with many oxen and enough land, which he uses to plant many different crops. He has always tried his best to feed his family, but has not been able to educate all of his children. One of the remaining 10 of Hasahiya's wives, Hanifa Hasahiya, says her husband is a lovely man who cares for their needs and always offers counseling for whoever goes astray. She adds that Hasahiya neither harasses nor ridicules them like some men do to their wives. According to Hanifa, Musa Hasahiya is 67 years old, but he has the energy of a 25-year-old guy. Zabina Hasahiya says their husband has all the qualities of a good man, and he treats them like his daughters. The same remark has been given by many of his children. At Hasahiya's compound, it is not easy to identify which child belongs to which woman. They bear a striking resemblance and easily gel with each other, more like in a school setting. Don't you find this interesting? A call for assistance. Hasahiya has cried out to Good Samaritans and the government to help educate some of his children. The Muslim community school in his village, however, have supported some of them to learn how to read and count. Some top-ranking officials of Butaleja district have affirmed that the Hasahiya family has one of the best-raised children in the village, as they abhor fights, theft, and smoking. For fear of the unknown, Musa Hasahiya says he cannot allocate land to his sons yet, because they can eventually end up selling it, and he adds that each child is trained to work hard and acquire his own land. He has reserved part of the fields he owns for his daughters in case they end up not being successful in their marital homes. Strange as it may sound, the irony to Musa Hasahiya's story is that he was born into a family of only 2 children, yet they struggled to make ends meet. Local overseers of Bugisa district, a village of about 4,000 people, say that, despite the challenges, Hasahiya has brought up and disciplined his children very well. Muslims in Africa are more likely than Christians to live in polygamous families like that of Musa Hasahiya Kasira, but in some countries, the practice is also widespread amongst adherents of folk religions and people who do not identify with any religion. Polygamy is legal in some African countries to an extent, such as Burkina Faso, Mali, and Nigeria. In Burkina Faso, about 45% of people who practice folk religions and 40% of Muslims live in polygamous households. Chad is the only country, according to research, where 21% of Christians are more likely than 10% Muslims who live in this type of arrangement. We have come to the end of this video. Feel free to share with us what you know about the Hasahiya family in the comments section. Before we take leave of you, please subscribe to the New Tourist channel and share massively to your acquaintances. Do not forget to turn on the notification button so that you do not miss any of our interesting and mind-blowing videos. Thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.